Hello, it's day 180, and I want to talk about the secrecy of weight loss. I've been on and off diets my entire life, and even when I was a little kid, I remember being very secretive about my plans to lose weight. I remember having this thought that, I would make all these grand sweeping changes to my life without anyone noticing, and I would slowly lose weight until one day everyone would notice. And then they would look at me and they would say, "Kara, you look so beautiful now. How did it happen?" And I would smile back and say, "Oh, I don't know. It just sort of happened. I didn't change anything." And that's a silly thought. It's like a childish fantasy, right? And I think that it was influenced a lot by media. This idea that it doesn't really matter if a little girl is homely, it doesn't really matter if she's fat or ugly, because beauty is the birthright of women. And someday she'll blossom into this beautiful person. It will happen just effortlessly. She'll just change. One day she'll wake up and she will be a beautiful woman. So as a little girl, I waited for that. I waited for the day when I would lose my baby fat. I waited for the day when I would grow taller and fit my frame a little bit better, right? And when you're a little girl mercilessly bullied for your weight every single day, when that doesn't happen, when that magic transformation doesn't occur, you do start to wonder if there's something wrong with you. And I remember wondering if there was something wrong with me. Why did I have to put so much effort into that beautiful change, that blossoming? And why wasn't it working? I think I would be a lot worse off these days if it weren't for my dad, because he was the one person I could talk to candidly about weight loss. Ever since my dad retired from the military, he's been weight cycling 40 or 50 pounds every couple years or so. But he's the kind of person who will sit down and say, "You know what, that running program didn't work. I'm loving this new weight loss program. No, wait, no, I'm not. I'm on an eating plan. I'm doing a meal plan." And for me, that really normalized the idea of talking about your struggles with weight, talking about the challenges that you're trying to overcome in life, like I'm doing right now, for example. And the whole reason this has come up is because the Harvest Festival is this weekend. The Harvest Festival is kind of a big deal in my town. My coworkers and I are running in the Harvest Festival 5K, and a lot of my students will be in attendance at the Harvest Festival. And today, because everybody's really excited, it's almost the weekend, my students asked me, "What's it like running in the 5K? You've done it before, like, why are you doing it?" And I felt that old secrecy creeping in. Like, I wanted to just say, "Oh, I don't know, I'm just doing it for fun. I'm just doing it because all the other teachers are doing it." But that's not true, is it? So I told them the truth. I told them, I set a health goal this year. I wanted to be able to run the entire 5K without stopping. And I know that I'm not going to be able to do that this time around, but I'm considering this as part of an ongoing goal, and I will be continuing my progress, and hopefully I can do it better next time. And most of my students just accepted that. They were like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." But there were a few who I think really thought about that. You never know with kids which ones are struggling with their weight, which ones are struggling with their eating. And I know that it can be really hard to understand that eating disorders are very, very common and the signs of them are not always super evident. I'm not saying that my students have an eating disorder, but I do think that the pressure that we put on kids to just transform, to just magically change, to magically blossom into this perfect, beautiful person. I think that if it hadn't been for my dad, I would have gone on believing that for a very long time. And I want for my students to not believe that either. I want to be the kind of example for them that my dad was for me. I want to be the person who can candidly talk about their struggles with weight and health in a way that is relatable. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I do know that I wish that there had been more people like that for me as a child.